I'm not going to do it. Clearly, I'm not going to do it.
You're taking off your glasses. You are going to do it. Come on.
That is not me. That is not me. That's about it.
Oh, yeah. It's all right. I'll find another picture.
No, it was a commitment, as you have to do as a member of the panel, to do a photo shoot for the magazine. Probably the only one that I did. And in a split second, I wouldn't say I was bullied, but I was coerced into a certain pose that he was looking for. For a split second, I relented, and I've regretted it ever since. It's horrible.
Kenny Live. Look at that.
That's not too bad.
Serious.
That's not too bad, look.
If you're missing this, radio listeners, don't worry. Obligatory jeans and black shoes are away.
It's definitely Paul Marnick. I remember it.
Yeah. It is Paul Marnick.
I can remember it. I remember
beautiful.
Afterwards thinking, no, what have I done?
What do you mean it's aged wonderfully?
No.
Shane Hannon brought that in today. You can thank him.
We're wasting valuable time here, Joe. The game's on and there's no need to be talking about that.
We've tweeted pictures of Kenny's photo shoot from 2003 with the official match programme for the Albania game. And I have to say, the pose is quite beautiful. I know you've got other images out there. We've got the Liverpool game on the top screen, so we can't actually see them. Yeah, so it's no good for us. But just imagine Kenny, it's black and white, he's got the polo neck on.
I've let myself down.
He's smiling, and he's got his right hand just artistically placed.
Oh, I know.
On the chin.
I know. It's horrible.
And just a little...
Very little defence. Very little. It was a moment of weakness.
A little grin which says...
Oh, no.
Come hither.
It's disgusting.
Oh, it's great stuff.
There's nothing. I'll apologise. I mean,
what are you apologising for?
No, it is. It's horrendous. Let myself down badly.
We've thrown
it's happened a few times during me. I have let me.
We've thrown it
not
up
too often, but that was one of them.
We've thrown this up on social media all afternoon. You'll be pleased to know. This has been doing the rounds.
Listen, let's listen to this. So I'm on the breakfast show this morning with the lads, right? Nigel Owens, do you know the rugby referee?
OTBAM, yeah, no, Nigel Owens.
Yeah, right. I'm just not trying to divert, but it links into this.
A little bit though.
So a big fan of Nigel Owens. He's having a bit chit chat with Adrian. I've said to them, how old is he? That Nigel Owens, 47. They've said, well, same as myself. So spontaneously, I've said, do you reckon I look older than him, Nigel Owens? And there was a general consensus in the room that I did look older than Nigel Owens. That rocked me a little bit.
Did it?
And that's moving. Obviously, that's moving the conversation on a little bit.
Oh dear.
But if anybody gets an opportunity to look at a picture of Nigel Owens, I'd be interested in a bit of feedback. I'm hoping the lads was a little bit of a wind-up because that's a...
Do you think it's the hair?
Maybe so, but even still, I mean, that's pretty damn... I don't want to be too disrespectful to Nigel Owens, like I said, but...
He's still actively refereeing games at the top level.
47 years of age.
Mm.
But when somebody... It's the first time somebody said something like, oh, yeah, you look a bit older than that. Actually, home a bit. Bloody hell. Do I look that old?
Bit of a reality check.
I mean, I'm not oil painting. I understand that, but I mean, that was pretty damning.
That rocked you.
It was pretty damning.
Mm.
Get back to me.
We'll do a Twitter poll.
Get back to me on that one.
No, we'll do a Twitter poll just based on that little clip. Do people think you look older than Nigel Owens or not? It's a big issue that we're determined to get to the bottom of. I would say...
it won't keep me awake at night, but...
I would say you do look about the same age.
It rocked me back a little bit. I've got to be honest.
I would have said about the same age, Kenny.
If that's the case, you've got to freshen the show for me. You've got to get a bit of young blood in here. I'm only going to drag you down.
Right, so we've had our VAR discussion.
Not all of it. We didn't talk about why the penalty wasn't retaken.
Okay, go on then.
Well, because technically there was 3 or 4 Spurs players inside the area where you shouldn't be, so that's a retake. Mm-hmm. And there was also Manchester City players in there as well, which means if Aguero had scored the penalty, should have been retaken again. So whether he scores or retakes it, VAR technically, as I understand it, should be intervening and giving that penalty again.
Yeah.
And I said this, I'm sure it was in the shirt a couple of weeks when I said, every manager now, when his player is taken, when this VAR comes in next year, taking a penalty kick, has got to tell his players, if your mate misses the penalty, everybody surround the referee and the man VAR, he has a look at it to make sure there's not one opposition defender. Because I would say, by and large, 80% of the time, when somebody strikes a penalty, there's an opposition defender in the area of the box where he shouldn't be.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah.
It'll put an end to it pretty quickly, but...
Well, let's say this is where we're going.
Gain. And
this is where we're going.
If you had to boil down your big issue with VAR, it's that it's hard to know where the line's drawn in terms of when it's being used. Is that your issue?
My issue is, as it was from the very start, this is a Pandora's box. Be careful what you wish for.
Mm. And as for the penalty, Danny Rose can count himself very unlucky because he's sliding in a natural position. I mean, he's trying to block a shot and his left hand does go above his head, but I mean in a way that it sort of has to keep your balance. And we were looking at the BT panel, and Rio Ferdinand and Jolyon Lescott and Glenn Hoddle were all looking at the same incident saying that's absolutely not a penalty. That is just the natural way that if you're sliding low to try and block a shot, your hand would just go slightly above your head. It's about balance. It's a natural movement.
Yeah.
And yet the referee ran over, stood on the sideline, looked at exactly the same footage and deemed it to be, well, I don't know if he thought it was unnatural or not, but he certainly said penalty. So that's a big issue.
So these things are subjective, aren't they? I mean, rules, that people think there's rules there that's black and white, it's right or wrong, but it's how you interpret the rules. Each referee, certainly referees in different countries, and even referees in the same country, Premier League, will interpret those rules slightly differently from others. So those grey areas are always going to be there going forward.
Yeah, it does allow the referee to make a more informed decision, though. Now, he might still get that decision wrong, but at least he's going to look at the incident properly.
But at what cost? Like I said, that game was dead, Joe, for a minute. I don't know how long it took, but it was dead. So in terms of the spectacle as well, for me, was what's driving this for me, in terms of the spectacle, the game, what we like, that energy inside the stadium, the natural flow of the game, that high energy type of Premiership game, which we all love, the best game in the world, boom, boom, boom. And this is the buffer. This is rubbing up against it. This is preventing it, and it's going to do more of it going forward. Because I don't know how you can. This is a juggernaut. This VAR. I don't see how you can stop it going into all areas of the game. The things that I've spoken about this evening. There's going to be more and more of these things coming up. Penalty kicks, potential sending off, second yellow cards that could be red cards. Not free kicks not given on the edge of the box when a team counter-attacked and scored the other end, getting pulled back. Well, if you hadn't given the free, there wouldn't have been a count. It's crazy stuff. It really is.
I understand what you're saying. Are you really that bothered by a 90-second delay, though?
Yeah. When it was 5 of them during the course of the game, yeah, I am.
I'm not bored during them.
And particularly when we've arrived at a situation when the split is 50-50.
No, I accept that
decision. I understand there will be decisions that we'll get right, but there's others we won't, and we'll still be arguing about. And the natural consequence is that the rhythm of the game is going to be disrupted time and time again.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit over-egged. I'm sure lots of people will agree with you. I don't find it that boring or irritating when one of those moments is happening. If anything, it's a little bit tense and exciting.
No, you've got to be in the minority there, Joe. You've got to be in the minority there.
No, I may well be. Yeah, that's fine. I may well be. But it's here to stay, Kenny. I don't see any way they can speed it up.
I thought, for me, they got to rewind the back. You got to bin it. If an idea is a bad one, get rid of it. Don't persevere with it. Oh, we're stuck with it. You're not stuck with it. Get out of it.
And do you not think they'll end up getting more decisions right than wrong now as a result of VAR?
They might do. But I'm not prepared to pay the price to get there, to get to that point where we're getting 10, 20, 25% decisions. I'm perfectly happy to live with it. And in terms of genuine human decisions being made by referees, linesmen on the pitch, they will get them wrong. I'm prepared to accept it.
And when you say
that's life, Joe, that's life.
When you say,
if people are looking for perfection, young kids now say, we got to get every decision right. Well, you want to get a bit more life experience. You're not going to get everything right in life. Football is a reflection of life. And you better get used to it, because things are going to go against you. You're going to get treated unfairly in life. You've got to suck it up and get on with it. And football's the same. Don't treat it differently.
And so would you get rid of the goal line technology then?
No.
What's the difference?
The only thing, because that literally is black and white, and you get there in a second.
So then actually...
you get there in a second.
Then actually that goes against the principle that you're advocating. So if we can refine the VAR process, then that might be something.
But you can't. But you can't refine the fact in terms of the amount of time it takes for the information to get from the VAR official to the referee, for them to communicate, decide the referee has to go and have a look at it, get himself across the pitch, have a look at the replays, have a look at it 6 times, have a discussion game of the VAR, get back on the pitch and give the penalty. You can't refine that. That's a fact. That's going to take time.
I think potentially you could refine that, For instance, you could have the person looking at the video make the decision for the referee.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is where we're going as well. This is what I'm talking about, the Liverpool game. I didn't see the referee go to the touchline and have a look at it. So are we saying the referee's the last arbiter in terms of whether it's a decision, or are we going to give that responsibility to a VAR official? Is that what we're doing?
It would speed up the process if you gave it to the VAR official.
So that's basically the basic fundamentals of the game, principles of football in terms of the referee's decision is final. Well, now let's scrap that. We're going to make the VAR official now let him referee the game.
It's a refereeing team. It's akin to a linesman being in charge of offside. The VAR official is in charge of the VAR issues.
But the linesman just assists the referee. Ultimately, that's the referee's decision.
Not
he converses with the linesman.
But I mean, if a linesman puts his flag up, the referee tends to give offside because he says, well, you've more information than me.
Yeah.
So it'd be akin to that.
Yeah, but it's still the same. Those subjective decisions we're talking about, still the same whether it's a VAR official in the studio giving it or the referee on the pitch.
Correct.
He's still looking and interpreting as he sees. We're still going to have these discussions. He's right, he's wrong.
Yeah, but again, that goes back to your life isn't always fair, kids. But you'll get lots of decisions right that you wouldn't have got right. And you could refine it that way. No?
No,
it's not worth persevering with.
I personally wouldn't have brought it in because I didn't like it. I could kind of see where it was going, and we're on the road to it now, and I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing.
But then the logic would have to be you have to get rid of goal line technology too.
No, it's not. It's not,
Same
Joe.
principle.
That's like instantaneous. That for me is that's the only argument. It's instantaneous. You get there in a second, and it is black and white.
And
it's not subjective. It's over the line or it isn't.
You don't think with VAR we could get to a point where within 15, 20, 25 seconds you have a quick decision from the VAR official, no?
Well, even if you get there, so there's an amount of time there. But I'm saying that there'll be instances during the games. I think you can get a dozen instances genuinely that you should be reviewing, especially if that criteria widens in terms of, well, if it's an important decision, what constitutes an important decision? Well, that throw-in wasn't given. And because that throw-in wasn't given, they went and scored a goal. So every missed throw-in, missed corner kick. Now suddenly in some people's interpretation, that's an important decision.
No, I agree.
You shouldn't have given that corner. They scored from it.
There is a difficulty with how many steps back you go.
Yeah, it's hard. That's what I'm saying. There's no way around. There's no easy solution to that.
Don't be so
There really
defeatist
isn't.
though. We'll figure it out, Kenny.
I'm being realist. I'm not being defeatist. I think I'm being realistic with it.
No, I definitely accept there is an issue with how many steps further back you go. There's a text in from Liz and Raheny. Joe Nigel Owens is just 10 days older than our Kenny. Did you know that?
Well, I knew he's the same age. He's 47. I was told he's 47. She actually hasn't. What's the girl's name? Sorry.
Liz and Raheny.
Liz. Did she add whether she actually who looks the older? Who looks the more aged?
No, I think she may have been.
Who does she think has lived?
I think she
has
was
lived a harder life.
Safeguard your feelings there.
Oh no, I'll be interested to consider.
Oregon Cork's texted in.
Yeah.
He has an opinion. Nigel looks older. There you go. There you go. Would Kenny have liked VAR the time Henry handled the ball against Ireland?
No. This is. I'm pretty consistent on this. I'm prepared to accept it. I'm prepared to accept that all of those mistakes. I believe genuinely that they're made with good intention. They're genuine mistakes made by their human error, and I'm prepared to accept human error. I've no problem with that whatsoever.
Would you not accept that there is so much at stake for these players?
No, so much at stake. What's at stake?
A World
Money.
Cup. A World Cup.
Oh, the clubs have never had so much
money. A World Cup
money.
for Ireland in 2009.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's how strongly I feel. Yeah.
You don't think that's
what it takes?
You don't think that was?
No, I'm not going to make an exception. No, I feel strongly on this and the point of principle. Apart from that one that went against us against France, of course. Now, if it's a point of principle, it's a point of principle, regardless of who it is.
Well, if you're going to get into the point of principle argument with me, then you have to get rid of goal line technology. You're either basing it on principle or you're not.
No, I'm not.
You're tying yourself
I think I've made my argument on that particular one.
It's either a principle argument or it's a.
Well, if you're going to hang it on that, I'll get rid of that. If you're going to hang on that, I'll get rid of that. But I've no problem with that. I'll give me reasons for that. Oh, I've no problem. If you're saying that, if that's what you're going to hang me on, I'll get rid of that as well.
You've just abandoned your principles.
No. I will stick with it for the reasons that I've said.
Okay. Jeez, Kenny, I don't know now. I'm disappointed with you. I think we could refine this and have VAR chugging along lovely in a couple of years.
Well.
Hi lads, it's great to hear the Irish football philosopher Kenny Descartes in full flow, says Jim in Dunboyne. He's enjoying tonight, Kenny. Worst part of VAR is the players pressurising the refs, says Harry. Well, look,
it's a great point.
The players pressurise the refs regardless.
But you're going to see more of it. You're going to see more of it.
Again, they're
going to be encouraged. Managers are going to encourage it.
This all comes down to refining the process, and I guarantee you, why we let's not rush into willful defeatism here.
No, I'm just basing on what I've seen already and potentially what's coming down the line. I think it's going to get worse. I don't think this is going to get better. I don't think we've seen the worst of it. It's going to get far worse, and I can't see how it's going to get better.
Liz and Raheny has come back with a bombshell, and I mean a bombshell.
Is she a rugby fan? Is she a big rugby fan?
Kenny and I share a birthday.
Yeah?
Whew. Though she adds, he looks younger. Liz and Raheny with an X.
Yeah, but Liz is 73. Let's be fair.
Oh, dear. Any other text? The Man U VAR decision against PSG took 3 minutes from the initial decision to when the penalty hit the back of the net, and then the referee played a further 6 minutes. It was mad, says Jane Dublin. They're going to have to speed things up. I would totally accept that. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm just saying we're way too early in VAR's life to get rid of it. Kenny says no.
Yeah.
Out of principle.
No, well, I think you're right. They're going to roll it in next season. It'll be really interesting. But I'm really sceptical. I fear the worst.
Okay, no, fair enough. Look, lots of people will probably agree with you. Maybe you're in the majority, to be honest. 60 minutes gone in the Champions League games this evening. Liverpool 2, Porto 0, and then Spurs 0, Man City 0. Just while we were rabbiting on there, Harry Kane went over on his ankle, which is bad news for Spurs. Harry Kane obviously has a fair old history of ankle problems, and he seemed to walk down the tunnel straight away. I presume he's gone off. Yeah, Harry Kane off. That's a big blow. 58 minutes, Harry Kane went off. He does his ankle very regularly.
He's had one of those nights. I've seen it happen a couple of times with him when he's got involved early on with people. He went down under a challenge from Mendy in the penalty box holding his face.
Yeah.
I saw the replay. I didn't see the contact.
Right.
And then he went in for a challenge with Ferrandino, threw himself to the... getting himself involved in that, trying to wind up opponents. For me, I hate to see that. With Kane, Kane's his best for me. He's absolutely ice cool. He's detached from all those type of things, just concentrating on other aspects of his game.
Yeah.
So I've been a little bit disappointed with Kane's contribution tonight. And it's interesting because I'd referenced that text that you sent in earlier from that lad who I can't remember his first name. Yeah, remember he phoned in saying in terms of how big a miss... I think his point was, how big a miss is it with Kane out of the team?
Kenny, he didn't phone in. Not live line.
He made contact with us, so I don't embarrass myself to make that point. So I think that's relevant this evening in terms of the type of night that...
Kenny.
With the Morse code, whatever. But I think that is interesting in terms of how the night's gone for Kane. Who's on? Is Amora on?
Any other callers? Ronan, any other callers? All right, listen, we're going to take an ad break. Next up, we're going to talk to... Darryl Horgan.
On Off the Ball.
Brought to you by the new and improved Boyle Sports Bet Builder. Now with 44 markets to choose from on every match.
Down to business.
Your town, your main street comes to the sunny southeast when we broadcast from Green Acres in the heart of Wexford Town on Saturday, April 13th. We'll be giving Wexford Town a health check with a panel of experts and talking to all businesses there, big and small. We'll speak to Wexford hurling and now business legend Liam Griffin, and I'll go out to Rosslare Harbour to see what Brexit might mean out there. The event is free, but you do need a ticket, so simply go to newstalk.com/events to register.
Your town, your main street.
On Down to Business.
Live from Wexford Town, proudly sponsored by IE Domain Registry, Saturday 13th of April.
On News Talk.
Over 2 centuries, one family business in Dublin has earned a name for excellence in funeral care. Every day they continue to work hard to retain that good name. The name is Fannigan's. Dubliners trust Fannigan's to take care of them on their final journey with empathy, compassion and dignity. And Fannigan's never forget whose journey it is. In over 200 years, some things don't change. Fannigan's, when your thoughts are with them, ours are with you. The Fannigan Group includes Carnegie's, Kirwins and Nichols.
You've always been resilient. When the going gets tough, you do everything you can to protect your business. And with an ever-changing Brexit, you may need extra support. At AIB, we have a range of Brexit supports to help you plan ahead to reduce any impact on your business. Our dedicated Brexit support line is now open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday. Call us on 0818 300 081. Allied Irish Banks plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
And it all comes down to this. The winning pots of the Dubai Duty-Free Irish Open.
Come experience all the excitement of this year's Dubai Duty-Free Irish Open at the spectacular Lahinch Golf Course from the 3rd to the 7th of July. Watch the drama unfold as Larry, Fleetwood and Harrington take to this dramatic and challenging links course. Experience more with a fantastic festival of golf, live music and delicious food and drink. DubaiDutyFreeIrishOpen.com.
The Masters is back. Stream all 4 days from Augusta and get every second of big swinging, glorious setting, career besting, water splashing, record breaking, tiger taming, Rory winning, maybe, eagle making, green jacketing, golf glory you could ask for. Grab a Now TV Sky Sports Week Pass and watch all 4 days of the Masters for just €15. Search Now TV today. Content streamed via the internet. Full terms at nowtv.com.
Off the Ball. This is News Talk.
Now then, welcome back. So 65 minutes at Anfield gone. Liverpool 2, Porto 0. They're reasonably happy, I would think, with their evening's work, Liverpool. Meanwhile, back in London, a huge 24 minutes coming up in this tie. It's still 0-0 between Spurs and Man City. Harry Kane now off, and a goal for either side here will be huge, you would think. So we'll keep a close eye on this game. While we're doing that, Darryl Horgan is doing rather well for himself. He was at Preston, obviously, until the summertime, and decided to make a move up to Scotland to get a bit more first-team football, and it has worked. He's played 29 times for Hibs this year. He's had 9 assists, he's scored 7 goals, and at the weekend, in the Tynecastle derby, Hibs won 2-1 away from home, and it's fair to say Darryl Horgan was the star of the show. We spoke to him earlier on.
Mulroney there to win the ball, and it's neat and tidy from Canberry to Mallon, and Horgan! It's a double from Darryl Horgan, and is there about to be a reshuffle in the natural order in Edinburgh? Well, this is simply a brilliant goal, a team goal, well worked, and what a finish from Horgan. Passes, he follows, that is a brilliant finish, that really is. Left-footed, into the corner, could say maybe against the run of play. But what a goal and what an impact Horgan, that man, has had on this tie.
Yes, indeed. Darryl Horgan, hello.
Joe, how are you?
Good. That must have felt very sweet.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, to be honest with you. Obviously, such a big game for everyone involved, and to get the 2 goals was special, all right.
And what a second goal as well. I mean, the first goal was no bad thing either, but the second goal was a beautiful bit of football. Neat and tidy, the commentator said, but real quality as well, and then the finish.
Yeah, lovely kind of team goal, just real sharp in around the box, and, fell to me, and thankfully I went in when they headed it.
Yeah, so I guess we just wanted to check in and see how things are going. From afar, it looks like they're going well. 30 odd appearances, I mentioned beforehand there. You've scored goals, you've made assists, you're getting football. How are you finding it?
Yeah, good. Really, really enjoying it now. Obviously, the last couple of months have been a bit better. We've been on a brilliant run. Kind of kicked right up the table. We were, I think, when the new manager came in, 11 points behind Hearts. So to claw them back and jump over them going into the split was brilliant, And obviously, new manager coming in, what was the aim for everyone? And it was to get in that top 6. And thankfully we did that. And now we're going to have to try push on, keep away from Hearts and catch Kilmarnock and Aberdeen if we can.
Yeah. So if you go back to your reasons for moving, it was fairly clear you wanted first team football. At Preston, things had gone well initially under Simon Grayson. I think you played about 20 times looking back through the stats. And then under Alex Neil, I think of all your starts, maybe just 2 of them weren't off the bench. And in fairness, he said he was sorry to see it go. Maybe the way Preston played under him didn't suit you. But ultimately, you wanted to play first-team football.
Yeah, look, ideally, you want to play as much as you possibly can. It's a short career. And, the last thing I wanted to do was kind of sit in stands and, just become a lad who's just going to train, and kind of not be a part of it. Obviously, look, I had great times at Preston. Last year was difficult, though. You want to be a big part of things and play as much as you possibly can. And unfortunately, that didn't really happen. And the lads done really well. It was difficult for me to get in, and the time was right to move. And thankfully, Hibs came in and made a good offer for us, and I was delighted to go and get up there and have an opportunity to get in a first team, and thankfully I have.
What was it about the Alex Neil system that mightn't have suited you?
I think he saw me more as kind of an out of the touchline winger, one-on-one with defenders, getting at them crosses, things like that, where I think he wanted lads kind of playing at them inside forward roles nearly, and I think he thought he had players who were more suited to that, He played Shawnee out there quite a bit, and Callum Robinson, and there was just a few players who were ahead of me, and he probably just, as he said, he just thought they were better players, and sometimes that's just the way it goes, and not much you can do. You just get the head down, work away, but maybe sometimes he had his mind made up, and that was it, and I've absolutely nothing against the guy. He's done a really, really good job there, so it was just time for me to go, and as I said, thankfully Hibs came in.
And how do you see yourself as a player? Because I suspect if Alex Neil saw your 2 goals at the weekend, then, you know, there's a touch of inside forward off them, I would have thought.
Yeah, look, maybe. It's hard to judge. I like to think I could do a bit, you know, and kind of adapt to any formation as much as I possibly can, really, you know. So I suppose the way the new manager has us playing here now, it's kind of either a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2, but he wants, you know, centre forwards in the box, like, and, you know, he wants his wingers in the box and in and around the box be an opportunity either to score goals or, you know, create. And so that's the aim for me, and that's what I've been trying to do since he's come in.
Sounds quite enjoyable, you know, getting in around the box, attacking football, scoring goals. That's right up your street, I would have thought.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's been really good. You know, there's a good structure to the way we're playing. You know, we're solid from the front right the way back, and, you know, we're creating chances and scoring goals. So, you know, long may it continue.
What were your options in July, Darryl? Was it just Hibs who were in for you, or was there other interest?
There was bits and pieces. To be honest, Hibs had come in early doors, you know, kind of May, June time, when I thought I'd be able to get to leave, you know. But it looked like it wasn't going to happen. You know, obviously I played the first game for Preston this year, and then it just kind of, it all opened up where there was bits and pieces happening, but I was kind of only interested in Hibs then. You know, there was a couple other clubs come in, but I said, look, see if Hibs, they said to my agent, see if Hibs are still available for me to go, and it went up, and straight away, yeah, brilliant, and, you know, got it done as quick as possible.
So you had no qualms whatsoever about leaving English football? You weren't desperate to stay in the Championship at all costs?
No, well, like, you know, I was kind of looking at, do I go somewhere where I'll maybe be in a similar position, you know, where someone's just taking a punt at you late in the window, and you're kind of coming in maybe as cover to the lads they're already happy with and have there. You've not done a pre-season with them, or are you going to a club that want you from the off, where there's an opportunity to play, you know? And obviously I'd still miss pre-season. The lads had gone on a great European run, but I was kind of coming in knowing I was wanted there, you know, and that I wasn't kind of last day of the window, bargain bucket, who can we get, who's available. So it was one of them where I just felt it was a good opportunity and a good place for me to go. And, you know, so far it's gone quite well.
What was your relationship like with Neil Lennon?
Yeah, it was pretty good, you know. He's, I suppose there's a kind of what's the best way, slightly different ideas between himself and the new manager now. But, you know, he wanted to play attacking football on the ground, get forward, score goals, create chances. I suppose my biggest issue, he more saw me as a 10, really.
Right.
You know, as much as you'd like to try your best in every role you possibly can. Sometimes it didn't work. I wasn't as used to it as I'd like to been, you know, and sometimes it went well, sometimes it didn't. But and then I suppose for whatever reason, the results didn't go our way. Whether, you know, it was ourselves, the players, and the manager. Everyone kind of has to take a bit of the brunt on that one, you know. It just, for whatever reason, didn't click, and unfortunately, he moved on, and you know, the managers come in, and we've hit the ground running since then.
Yeah, you sure have. Chemistry, especially when you're talking about that many different people, is a complicated thing, and there were reports of Lennon involved in heated exchanges, and I'm sure that happens in football all the time. Did he leave under a bit of a cloud, or how was that departure handled?
I suppose you're always leaving under a cloud. That's just the way football is. You know, it's never really, very, very, very rarely going to be an amicable thing. No one wants to leave their job, you know, especially a job who's been there for obviously 2.5 years. But look, obviously there was a few disagreements and discussions, but nothing that you wouldn't have seen before. You know what I mean? Like there was, you know, obviously we had been beaten by Motherwell the week leading up to it, and he wasn't happy. No one was happy. So everyone kind of had words. It wasn't anything that I hadn't seen before.
I guess in a similar way to your experience with Simon Grayson and then Alex Neil, there's always that worry as a professional footballer about the new man coming in. So Paul Heckingbottom wasn't heralded as a massive appointment for Hibs by any means. He's done brilliantly. I mean, 6 wins, 2 draws. You've gone from 8th to 5th in the Premiership, as we're saying. When do you get an early feeling that this guy rates you and likes you?
He actually had tried to take me to Barnsley before.
That's a good start.
Yeah, when I went to Preston, so that was a decent start. And I'd been on trial at Barnsley when he was head of youth over there. So I passed it across once or twice. So I knew there was that he had rated me at one stage. Obviously, I had to show him I was still at that level that I was, you know. And thankfully, he's shown a lot of faith to me. He's put me in, played me pretty much every game, you know. So it's been really, really good.
It's amazing what confidence does, isn't it? And knowing that your manager has confidence in you. We see it in players all the time. The same player, same ability, same fitness levels, but just the belief of a manager can transform what you're able to do.
Yeah, it's frightening, isn't it? You know, for whatever reason, I really, really don't understand it. It's just confidence is huge. The longer I'm in the game, the more I realise how important it is. Like, you know, when someone, I suppose, that has that belief that, you know, give you that freedom to go out and play your game and, you know, have the confidence in your game, then for whatever, you get that extra yard quicker, you know, you get that bit sharper, things fall for you in the box, you know.
I think probably you don't second guess yourself as much. You're not worried about every decision, you know, what does he think of what I'm doing right now kind of thing.
Yeah, that's possibly it as well. You know, you just play kind of more off instinct maybe, and I suppose that's probably the best way to do it anyway, isn't it? Do
you work on your confidence in any psychological way, any techniques? Do you do anything to work on your confidence?
No, not particularly. You know, there's a fella at the club, you know, who's a kind of sports psychologist. I chat to him a bit, you know, and every now and then, like, and there's one thing he's kind of said to me there a couple of months ago that kind of stuck with me, you know, kind of be the grey man, you know, have no kind of emotion when it comes to it. And that was a big thing for me, you know, especially I get kind of wrapped up in it at times, you know. I get very very frustrated with myself playing. So to be able to have that, you know, kind of don't lose the rag, don't lose the head, it's only a mistake, it happens, don't worry about it, it'll come again. So things like that was a good kind of indicator for me, you know, that he had seen that and that it was something I should do.
And have you noticed yourself going a little bit easier on yourself during games?
Maybe not going easier, but I switch off it quicker.
Okay.
You know, I still get frustrated, but it doesn't last. Whereas it might have affected the next thing I would do in a game or then the thing after, and I could build up. Whereas now it's done. Maybe get frustrated, but you forget about it then and you just continue going.
Tell us about the move to Edinburgh. It's a beautiful city.
Oh, beautiful place. I love it up here. Yeah, Scottish people are very, very similar to the Irish. You know, it's very, very friendly, and you know, obviously coming up, you're moving into a whole new place, whole new team. But the lads have been unbelievable. They're great group of lads there, and makes that bit easier as well. You know, obviously you're moving the missus and the little fella up, so it's a big change for everyone. But it's been brilliant.
And have you gone in around the city centre, or are you living a bit further out, or what's the setup like?
We're living a bit further out. Right. Yeah, I'm not built for living in the cities. You know, I don't like that much hustle and bustle. I like live a little bit out, little town, about 20 minutes from Edinburgh. Like, right. You know, so that suits me down to the ground. It's a nice place. Again, neighbours all very, very friendly, and you're not too far from the city if you ever want to go in.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I had the fortune or the misfortune. I was actually on a stag this weekend, so I got a sense of the excitement about the Derby game, and people were really into it. But it's a beautiful spot when you venture in around the castle and that old part of the city.
Oh yeah, the whole city. You know, anytime I go in, you see just this new building that you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And geez, that's unbelievable. You know, and obviously, as you said, the castle, the old town, everything. It's a really, really nice place. We were here around obviously it was the Christmas time, the Christmas markets and things like that, and it was unreal.
It's important, isn't it? Like, I mean, you need your other half, you need your child to be happy. Like, if they're not enjoying it, then it's very difficult for you, I would think, to do your best stuff.
Yeah, well, obviously grand when you're single and you have that, but when you've a family to worry about, you know, you have to make sure they're pretty happy. To be fair to Donna, she's brilliant. You know, she goes wherever's coming up. You know, any move in the summer, she was saying, right, we're going. It doesn't matter where.
Great.
But just luckily that Edinburgh's a lovely place and it suited everyone really.
How have you found the standard of football in comparison with Championship level?
It's one of them. It's quite difficult to judge. Obviously, people have asked the same about, you know, the League of Ireland to whatever else, but it's very, very difficult to really judge. You know, there's definitely obviously you've your Celtics who would probably be a cut above the championship, you know, and maybe there's a few teams that will compete in it, and you're probably thinking the rest maybe compete League One, you know, potentially, and you really don't know. You wouldn't have said, you know, many championship teams would have beaten, you know, Asteras Tripolis like the boys did this year. So it's hard to know at times, you know, sometimes. But the standard's good, you know, the games are very, very enjoyable, very fast paced, you know, kind of relentless, kind of non-stop pace to the games I found. And, you know, they've been difficult games, you know, you've no easy one. You know, you could, like, I suppose similar in a way to the championship, you could play a team bottom of the table and, you know, you get turned over very, very easily if you're not at it.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Scottish football in the headlines a good bit this year, sectarianism bubbling away as it does and as it has done for a long time. It's certainly not as intense in Edinburgh, clearly, as it is in Glasgow, but you must have encountered it across the season. Is it a regular theme at games that you're playing in?
Yeah, look, I suppose any kind of, you know, discrimination is just not on, no matter what. You know, it's 2019 now, like, where I thought we're past the Stone Ages. I think one of the lads there, I've just seen on, you know, Sky Sports News, got racially abused in the derby, like, which is a disgrace. You know, it doesn't matter, you know, what creed, race, anything you are, like, you should never ever get that kind of abuse, and it's not right, you know. To be honest,
was that in the? Sorry, I didn't see that. Was that in the Tynecastle derby that he was abused, or?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That there. We actually haven't been in. We've had a couple of days off, but I just see it on Sky Sports, you know, and obviously the two clubs have come out and they've kind of they've obviously
condemned it. Yeah,
that's what I was looking for. Yeah, you know, but it's a disgrace that that's still the case going on. Like, I haven't seen as much of the old kind of sectarianism. Yeah, you know. So you're not still bubbling away.
You're not out in the wing getting you Fenian so and so, or you Catholic this, or you Irish that.
I haven't heard too much, but to be honest, when I'm playing, I don't hear much of what's going on.
Yeah, I hadn't realised that about the racial abuse. Was that a teammate of yours or opposition, or?
Yeah, one of the lads playing with us. Yeah, it's just not on. You know, it's just wrong that someone who's just trying to go enjoy his football, play a game, is getting that kind of abuse.
And what ethnicity is he, Darryl?
Mars Black.
Right. Okay. Because it's interesting. I saw Gary Neville was on Monday Night Football last night, and just in the last segment they were talking about it, and Neville was making a very interesting point. He was remembering playing at the Bernabeu back in 2004 when black teammates were being racially abused, and on the same night Wayne Rooney had thrown a black armband on the ground in frustration. I think it was for Emlyn Hughes, possibly, the black armband, and it's funny, at full time he was more concerned about protecting Wayne Rooney, or got more questions about Wayne Rooney than what had happened to the black players, and kind of looking back now saying how ridiculous that is, and actually also saying FIFA, UEFA, clubs, powers that be need to come together and decide what the best action is. Is the best action to leave the field? Is the best action to ban fans? What is the right thing to do? Football almost needs to decide, how do we handle this if it happens? Because it's difficult. Do you walk off the pitch? Raheem Sterling was saying yesterday, well, you almost empower the idiot in the crowd who shouts something and can almost end the entire game for everyone, ruin the whole point for everyone, but equally it just can't be allowed to happen. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how you would react if you hear that abuse of your teammate on the pitch. It's very difficult.
Yeah, you know, it's hard. And look, the thing is, no one wants to leave the football pitch.
Sure.
You know, everyone wants to finish the game, you know, and as you said, you know, empowering the idiot, you know.
It gives him a huge influence.
Giving him that influence and voice that he doesn't deserve. And, you know, clearly his ideologies or whatever they are so far askew that, you know, he has no right to voice them even, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
I suppose, look, as you say, it just needs to be decided from the top down.
Yeah.
You know, and then you need to have the sanctions, and the sanctions have to be followed out to the letter. And hopefully that would stamp it out, because it's just wrong.
No, it's outrageous. I have no doubt if the players were told the best thing to do is to walk off the pitch, or the best thing to do is X, Y or Z, the vast majority of players would be really happy to do that. I think there's actually an uncertainty about how to handle those situations. Even a manager on the touchline, if he hears it, what's the right thing to do?
Yeah, well, that's it, you know, like, is the right thing to walk off the pitch? If that is the case, then walk off the pitch. You know, play the next game, finish the game behind closed doors or something. I don't know what the best thing is to do, you know.
Yeah, tricky.
Do the other 20,000 people have to miss out because this one Egypt thinks he's a bit of a hero and he's having his moment in the sun? I don't know.
Yeah. Republic of Ireland then, I would presume one of the big reasons you wanted first team football, aside from just it being your career and not wanting to sit in the stands, is to get yourself into the Republic of Ireland squads. You were in the initial 38-man provisional squad for the Gibraltar and Georgia games and then didn't make the cut. Did you have a conversation with Mick McCarthy? Have you been talking to him? Has he been up to watch you play? How's that relationship beginning?
I haven't spoken to him since. He called us kind of when he got the job. I think he was just doing the rounds, calling everyone, you know, and just said, look, obviously I'll be watching you. There'll be someone to watch you. Just keep playing away. And, you know, obviously made the 38-man squad, was obviously quite happy with that. Disappointed not to make the cup, but look, that's the game. You know, there's lads doing very, very well. So from now, I just have to keep the head down, keep working away, and keep playing, hopefully, and try to get myself back in the frame. That'll be the hope, you know.
There's not really much else you can do. You know, you've no power. There's uncontrollables. You just have to play really well, keep scoring goals, keep doing your thing. It's not like you can text Mick McCarthy every week.
No, exactly. And to be honest, what I wouldn't want to be, you'd want to just get in on kind of how you've done at club level and that he sees there's an opportunity and a place for you in the squad.
Interesting, Jack Byrne getting the call up, playing League of Ireland football. Mick was actually at the game. He scored a brilliant goal for Rovers, and I think there was an injury and he got called in. That's great for the league.
No, it's brilliant for the league. You know, then there's been saying it for years. There's more than good enough players in the league that could make that step up. You know, obviously looking Mickey Duffy the last 2 years at Dundalk has been unbelievable, and there's far more players as well who have that quality. And sometimes it's just a bit of belief and a bit of luck, like you say, off the manager. You know, it's obviously not the done thing, but it's great to see him call him in.
So listen, we'll let you go. I guess busy end of the season. Games are going to come thick and fast, and it's about finishing as high up as you can. Yeah,
that's the plan. You know, you want to shoot right up that table. The aim will be to hopefully get into Europe, and fingers crossed we could do that. We're 6 points behind Aberdeen and Kilmarnock, so we're going to have to definitely pick up a few wins.
Well, listen, thanks a million for joining us. It's great to see you doing so well. Brilliant goals at the weekend. They're on YouTube if anyone wants to check them out and didn't catch them. Keep it up. Great to check in. Thanks, Darryl.
Thanks a million, Joe. See you later.
There we are, Darryl Horgan, speaking to him earlier on, top man, and wish him all the best. He seems to be going well at Hibs. So 89 minutes on the clock. Spurs are 1-0 up against Man City. Son with the goal. We'll talk you through it in just a moment. And Liverpool still 2-0 up against Porto. 89 minutes on the clock. Back in 1 sec.
Off the ball on News Talk.
The Audi Approved Plus used car sales event is now on. Discover your premium used Audi today with a 12-month warranty and exclusive 3.9% APR, available only at your local authorised Audi dealer. It doesn't have to be new to be everything you've dreamed of. Finance is made under a hire purchase agreement and subject to lending criteria. Deposit required. Terms and conditions apply. Volkswagen Bank GmbH Branch Ireland is authorised by the Federal Financial Supervisory Authority in Germany and regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland for conduct of business rules. Visit audi.ie/used cars. Visit Audi Centre, Bracken Road, Sandyford today to avail of our exclusive offers and test drive your future Audi.
Your to-do list. It's always pretty chock-a-block. There's the things from yesterday you never got to yesterday, and the things for today you'll probably put off till tomorrow. But don't put off saving up to €647. Go direct to Energia and switch to Ireland's cheapest dual fuel bundle. For the biggest savings, the thing to do is to always go direct. Visit energia.ie. Energia, the power behind your savings. EAB €1,470 based on average annual usage. 12-month contract, discounted unit rate, standing charge, PSO levy and carbon tax, T's and C's and early termination fee apply. Valid from March 2019 and subject to change. Verification and T's and C's at energia.ie/EAB.
The big Easter sale is on now at appliancesdelivered.ie with up to 40% off the entire range, which means that I can roll out my eggiest Easter puns, like cracking offers, extreme savings and shocking deals. Okie dokie, there's €100 off a Whirlpool 9kg washing machine, now just $399. The Dyson V10 Absolute, only $499. Or the Samsung 40-inch UHD TV was $549, now $399. And there's free delivery on selected products. Start saving now at appliancesdelivered.ie.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
Now we're back. So Kenny, described the goal. Spurs are 1-0 up. There's 5 minutes of added time. It was Son who got the goal for Spurs.
Yeah, really good play. Picked out by Eriksson. Ball over to the Manchester City defensive line. They were holding the line on the edge of the box, which traditionally Manchester City do, which means if you can time your running behind and the quality of the ball is good enough, which it was from Eriksson, you can get in. That said, Son still had it all to do. He just about kept it in. Delph got back, who was the nearest defender, and it just goes to show you why sometimes you suffer when you haven't got a national defender in your defensive line, because he didn't defend well enough, Delph. Instead of just staying on his feet, Joe, shuffling his feet, being patient, showing him away from the goal, he had a little fish. It wasn't the right thing to do. He unbalanced himself. That allowed Son to shift it another yard to his left. And before the pressure could come on from Gundogan, I think it was on the inside, he rifled the shot. Hard and low just to the side of Edison into the goal. So brilliant finish from Son, but really poor 1v1 defending from Delph in the left back position.
Very flat-footed. Kieran says, lads, I told you Son was better without Kane. P.S. I tried calling in, the phone lines were busy.
Yeah, well, we referenced earlier, didn't we, before the game? Somebody we had
same lad texting in.
Oh, the same. Who was it?
It's Kieran.
Oh, he tried the phone as well.
Well, I think that's more.
Yeah. No, we gave him a bit of credit earlier, didn't I? I said it was a good point that he made.
Disagree with him?
No, I didn't disagree with him. I said no, not at all. I said there's a good argument there to be had. Why Spurs do not disintegrate when Kane's not in the team.
Bit of revisionism.
I mean, he scored that goal from basically playing in a wide right position. So don't get me wrong, Moore has been playing, or Ali been playing down the middle. But you see the qualities that he has, Son, in terms of always attacking the space in behind, and again, shifting the ball, working in tight areas, getting the shot off. Brilliant finish.
So it was a good example, by the way. Everyone, could be a chance here for Son again. Similar position, right edge.
Oh, didn't sort his feet out, did he?
No. It was a good example of VAR working well, by the way, because Son, the ball over the top, he miscontrolled it initially, and it looked like it may have gone over the end line, and VAR showed very quickly that it didn't go out over the end line, and then they also checked on VAR for offside. It took less than 25 seconds, and everything was fine. And it worked well, and it was worth doing because it was a big moment in the game.
The play was stopped, Danny. They're going back to the halfway line. And all I say, if VAR wasn't there, the goal would have been given anyway.
It would have.
It'd given the goal.
Would have, but it was an example of how it can work well. There's lots of texts in about the discussion you were having. So, for instance, Kenny is spot on. Would VAR have ruled out Keita's goal at the weekend because Salah was marginally offside nearly a minute before the goal? It will ruin the game, says Brian. See, I just think that's just willfully simplistic stuff.
It's not. This is potentially where it can go.
Let me finish. You just interrupted there.
I did.
We human beings have control of VAR. You can just decide certain points at which VAR goes back no further because they're deemed irrelevant to what's happened, Brian. Like, it will ruin the game. That's a crazy thing to say. It's far too quick to make a snap judgment.
It's happening before my eyes.
No, but sorry, you're not looking for solutions. It's just this, no, it's terrible,
it's awful. Fixed. Nothing's broken. It doesn't need to be fixed, Joe.
Football can be improved.
The game has survived without VAR for a long period of time and thrived.
The game has survived with constant change and evolution. I mean, you would have been saying, why get rid of the back pass rule for the goalkeepers at some stage? The game's fine. That's not how life works.
Not necessarily.
Use the NFL model.
Change. Yeah, go ahead.
Use the NFL model to somebody. Each manager can challenge the referee's decision.
Oh, no.
3 times, for instance. If the VAR proves the manager wrong, then that team loses a sub. So there's even a...
Oh, no. God, no.
If you've used up all your subs, you can't challenge. It limits the amount of time VAR is used. Somebody else, why don't they do the same as the NFL? Works very well in the NFL. You have 2 challenges perhaps per team. If you are correct, you keep your challenges. We see it in tennis as well. I totally agree with that as a viable solution. If people feel, one of Kenny's arguments was, it's going to happen 10 times a game, fine. Keep it to 2 challenges per team. For instance, as a trial, instead of just throwing it all out and ignoring technology, which works perfectly well.
Yeah, but that's a halfway house then for me. So you're prepared to say, I'm prepared to get some decisions right, but not others.
No. You say halfway house.
So you're prepared to accept.
I am prepared to compromise with you. Instead of just, no, this extreme has to go. Get rid of it.
Because I can see even that being abused. Say you don't use any of your challenges during the game.
Yeah.
And there's 2 minutes left in the game. It's 0-0. You're desperately under the cosh. You're desperately trying to hang in the game. So now you're thinking, I'm just going to use these.
And you think
I don't care.
And sorry, you think there's no way we can't get around that, do you?
Well, I'm saying, I'm trying at you then. So there's a tackle. Everybody can see it's not a foul. You throw your flag onto the pitch. The game has to be stopped because that's what you're telling me. That's the rules.
Referee disregards that. Or else they maybe...
Oh, so now you disregard it, you're thrown on the pitch.
We can come up with a solution. something in that.
Well, you're saying it's hard and fast, but now you're saying it's not.
Kenny, you're just looking for holes in very viable
Because they're there. Because they're there. I'm looking at the holes because they're already there.
In 10 years' time, my friend, we'll be sitting here, VAR will be well
I hope
refined.
not. I won't be here talking to you in 10 years talking about CPR, I'll tell you that.
I certainly hope neither of us will be, but there's a chance. Ruining the game, no way. Fans have called for technology for years. It may not be perfect, but I guarantee more right decisions will be made because of it. Give it time. Somebody else, Mac in Limerick, told me to shut up and that you had thought it through. So, look, people disagree with it. That's fine. Just sport at the end of the day.
Game's over.
Spurs have won 1-0.
Spurs is night. We spoke about it.
Big result. You did call it, in fairness. You did call it.
Yeah, but I tell you what, the game didn't pan out as I thought. I actually disappointed in the quality of the game from both teams.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those is a bit of tension. What was at stake maybe crept into the mindset of the players. But I thought in terms of the overall quality was actually quite reasonably poor.
Yeah.
Manchester City, I thought, played actually better second half and looked more likely before Spurs scored. But even at 0-0, I was thinking it's not a bad result for Spurs. I really think they're still in this tie, regardless of whether Kane plays or not. But that 1-0 scoreline now makes Spurs favourites for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I fancied them to go through. I had a bit of a gut, not just a gut feeling, that's too simplistic. I felt they had the players, the personnel, certainly tonight from what I saw, to win tonight. Now, they have won, but not in the manner I thought they would. And even without Kane, I still think they're more than capable of going to Manchester City and certainly scoring. I think they'll have to score at the Etihad. I think they will. And without seeing the starting 11 at the moment, I fancy them to go through. I'll stick with it.
Okay, Liverpool, you make firm favourites to go through. They've won this evening at home, 2-0 winners.
Salah shouldn't be on the pitch from what I saw. VAR again. Leave it.
OTB AM back tomorrow 7:45. Fergus O'Dowd will join the lads. Obviously, he'll be part of that Oireachtas committee later on in the afternoon. We'll be all over that tomorrow. There's Man U, Barcelona, Wednesday night rugby as well. And so, Kenny, Tom Dunn is on the way next. From all of us here, good night.